Morning guys, back up at the workshop again today, working on the Porsche, just trying to make some progress here, and it's going pretty well. So today I'm going to work on the subframe, finish off the steering rack and get it all hopefully bolted up into the car and maybe even put the front suspension on. So let's see how we get on. So in terms of the steering rack, what I did last weekend was fit and torque down the inner tie rods and put the boot on here. I realized that on this side I was missing the seal here, which you can buy separately from Porsche, and it's €2.95, so it's probably the cheapest trip I've ever had to OPC Dresden. So that'll allow me to put that gaiter on as well and button that up, and then put on the drop link, the track rod ends there, and hopefully then get this subframe back up underneath the car, because as you know, last weekend I had it up under there, but then had to drop it down again for those things. So this is the seal. That one was on there, but this one was missing when I got this new rack sent to me, or a refurbished rack. I've actually got the correct pair of pliers here now. I had to borrow them from a friend of mine, so using these for the first time, but guessing they're pretty simple. Lovely. So nice to have the right tools. There you go. Okay, so I've just brought the car down before fitting the subframe back on again, just to check that the steering is nice and straight, but realised that it isn't. It's got a steering lock on it, and I haven't got the keys to the Porsche here. So that's why another car at the garage always comes in handy, because I'm now going to take the Land Rover back down to the house and pick up the Porsche keys, because I came up on my bike today because I haven't got a car this week because my wife is travelling with the car. So down to the house with the Land Rover, back up here, and straighten up that steering wheel and then fit the subframe and steering rack. Okay, so got the keys, straightened up the wheel, got the steering rack and everything ready. The only thing I've got to do is torque up the bolts which hold the steering rack to the subframe, but I'll do that when it's on the car. Okay, so I'm going to offer it up now. I'm going to bring the car down basically and push it in. Okay, so the subframe is back on. I've got some of the coffin arms and the tuning forks on there, so the suspension parts. Got the straps put back in, torqued up. The only thing I've still got to do is torque those two bolts there for the steering rack. Yeah, got my new powder coated boomerangs in there. Everything on this car seems to have a nickname. Coffin arm, tuning fork, boomerang, God knows what else. And yeah, obviously same on the other side. A couple of less components on this side, but what did I say I was going to do now? Oh yeah, I was thinking now of putting this knuckle on. It's got a new bearing in. I got it pressed in the other night at a friend's garage. He helped me press that in, which is really good. So I'm gonna fit that now. Okay, so I just dug I suppose they are cross members. Not cross members, but struts, I think they're called. That's it. And they go up. Let me see if I can get you in here. From back there to there. So I'm gonna put those in now. I think it's a good time. Okay, got those struts on, or the cross braces, I guess. Haven't torqued them down yet, but I'll do that later on. What I'm going to do, for all the bolts that I've torqued, I'm going to put a black marker pen stripe on it so I know what I've done and what I haven't done. Okay, so before this area gets too congested, I am going to fit my bracket here, the one that I actually ended up making twice. That's the first one, did it round the wrong way, or at least what I did was, and this is sometimes typical, I made this the correct way around, exactly like that, and then I had a brainwave and thought, wait, I've done it round the wrong way. So I took it apart, bent it, heated it up and bent it round, repainted it, refitted one of these riv nuts, or riv studs, I should say, and realized I'd done it round the wrong way. So I now have a power steering line bracket for a left and a right hand drive car. Okay, so not sure if you can see that properly, but that is the bracket in and the bolt torqued up, or just tightened up to be honest, with a little mark on there to say that I've done it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the wheel hub, which is just there. Okay, so I was just searching for the bolts that fit through here, and I started to do a bit of a tidy up of the garage and just sort through everything and chuck rubbish out where it's not needed, obviously, because over the years you just start collecting a ton of stuff. But then realized what goes in there is the anti-roll bar, the front anti-roll bar, and I had connected to the front anti-roll bar now where are they? The bolts. So that's them. So I've got to lower this down and then put in the anti-roll bar first. Okay, so making slow but good progress, I guess. I realized that I have lost the two clamp bolts for the both front wheel hubs. So I've borrowed one from the rear cross member, and I'll just have to order some more, but I've looked everywhere and I have no idea where they are, which is frustrating. But anyway, so that is coming together. I was going to grab a brake disc now and put a brake disc on. Right, okay, so I've got the first brake disc back on, which is actually really quite exciting, because it's getting closer and closer to being able to actually put some wheels back on. Long way to go yet, but nonetheless, that's the first brake disc back on. It had a light sort of, although I put oil on it before I stored it, had a light covering of rust. Maybe it was just from where from use and so on. So I gave that a clean up with a flat block and some very fine emery paper. And yeah, I'll give them another clean, I think, before the pads go back on. I'm thinking actually of putting some yellow stuff pads on here, because the standard ATE or Porsche pads, they create so much dust that just after one drive the wheels are already covered again. So yeah, I think yellow stuff, they're quite expensive, but I think they don't create so much brake dust. But yeah, that's how we're getting on. As I say, I've got to order a couple of those unless I can find them somewhere. But yeah, starting to look like a car again. Okay guys, so I dug out the calipers for the front axle, and yeah, I'm essentially taking them apart, looking at the seals. What I found is these brake pad, I guess, locators, this is one taken apart. I'm just cleaning one up here to see if I can actually reuse it. But essentially they have a sticky side here which stick onto the back of the brake pad, and then these sort of things go into the cylinders here. I believe these are aluminium. These, I don't know what they call them, the bits that go in there. The pistons, obviously, the pistons. I guess they're aluminium because they're incredibly light. But anyway, that was stuck in there, so I heated that up a little bit, and it came out. So there's obviously quite a lot of work to do. I don't know what you think about those seals, but I guess if I've come this far, I might as well replace the seals. And then if you say, well, if I replace the seals, then I might as well repaint them. So yeah, quite a lot of work left to do, but that's where I'm at the moment. But I'm going to leave it now. It's getting late, it's dark outside, and I'm on my bike today. So I am going to leave it there for the day. I just realized on this other strut, the front strut on the left-hand side, this gaiter is slightly perished here. I think you can see. So I was thinking, oh, shall I put it back on or not? But it's just pointless. You know, if I've got everything off at this stage, I might as well dismantle this and get another gaiter for it. But otherwise, I've got a strut and a disc brake on this side, so that is very promising. I might pop up again tomorrow, but I'll see you soon.